Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, sitting down to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, and it has been a hot minute since we've talked about this game. In fact, it was when we dropped our Cyberpunk 2077 2022 review, talking about all the updates that have come to the game so far, and if it's worth finally trying out if you skipped out on it. Now today, we're making up on all of that lost time as we have a ton of rumors to go over, and in fact, I never even talked about the official #2 teaser trailer for Phantom Liberty, a big focal point in today's discussion as fans are starting to get a bit restless. Where exactly is Phantom Liberty? Is something happening at CD Projekt Red? Well, actually, they've kind of spelled it out for us. I just don't think people are doing enough research. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone here, talk about the rumors, squash some of them out, and identify where CD Projekt Red is right now in their current development cycle for all things Cyberpunk 2077. So if you're new here and you're into news, reviews, all that kind of stuff, we got a lot of previews on the way. Diablo 4, we got Redfall on the way. Keep your eyes peeled. And with that, let's get started. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Naraka Bladepoint is unlike any battle royale game I've played, with a focus on a vast arsenal of melee weapons, insane mobility via a grappling hook, and fast-paced melee combat. It being available on Game Pass made it a very easy try for me, but since picking up my first blade and countering someone online, I'm actually hooked. The responsiveness, the variety of combos, and the hero skills give this game limitless possibilities. It's truly emergent gameplay. Xbox fans may know that Wolong Fallen Dynasty just dropped on Xbox Game Pass, and the fun continues in Naraka Bladepoint as you can join in-game events to get various Wolong-styled cosmetics for free, including the mask of the famous and also terrifying general, Lu Bu. Besides, you'll be able to claim 2 exclusive outfits which are inspired by the characters of Naraka in Wolong's future DLC. The newest hero coming to Naraka Bladepoint is Akos, who is the first hero to be able to transform into a beast. He joins the fight on March 16th, and with his fast and cunning nature, will be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. So click the link in the description right now to try out Naraka Bladepoint for free, only between March 15th and 19th on Epic and Steam, or on Xbox if you have Xbox Game Pass. You can also get a 50% off discount between March 15th and 21st on Steam and Epic platforms. All right, let's start off with rumor stomping. Things have started to get out of control, and this typically happens when anytime a big company goes silent for a while and they're not filling that void, if you will, with significant news. Fans start talking, fans start digging, and they think they find something when they actually didn't. You know, we already know this if you're a Bethesda Game Studios fan, but now we're seeing the same thing happen to CD Projekt Red. So what happened was, over on Reddit, someone had posted this saying, "Guys, have you seen this before?" And the significance of this post is that it is a apparently DLC quest that says to call Falco when you are ready. Now, of course, if you've seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners, you know Falco is one of the main characters in that show, and fans were getting really excited that, oh my god, a major character from that show is going to appear in the expansion. It makes so much sense here. Well, CD Projekt Red nipped that one in the butt as we saw Radek Badowski go ahead and take it to Twitter and say, "Sorry, Paul, this is not a leak. We don't have this content neither in Phantom Liberty nor in the base game." Now, you may be wondering, well, how did we get here? It turns out, according to Dexerto, who did a little bit more deep digging, is that this fan had gameplay mods active in their files. And so someone in one of those various mods put something in there that made it look like there was going to be DLC that had leaked, and so it gained some steam. So an honest mistake, all things considered, but a pretty crafty move by whoever had made that mod, I will say. Point being, that rumor is stomped. There's no, at least right now, Falco in Phantom Liberty. We'll see when we finally get that expansion. We'll start talking about what is CD Projekt Red up to. That's the main bulk of this video, right? Is, okay, you stomped that rumor. We've seen the game expansion twice now with 2 teasers, the announcement teaser, and then we got one at the Game Awards. Okay, when's this coming out? Because right now all we know is 2023, and many fans were expecting it to be the early part of 2023, but I like where CD Projekt Red's going right now. I love the silence. I love the patience. They've already proven themselves, right? Okay, we had our bounce back. You got your Edgerunners update. The anime brought you back to the game. You got to see how the next gen update runs. It's the game that you've been waiting for. There was a huge resurgence in the player base. Well deserved, in my opinion. I've loved the game since launch, so I was thrilled to see this type of success for them, and I was really rooting for them. But now, because they have won the audience back to some degree, while they should still be skeptical, and rightfully so, they've won the audience back where the interest is there. Now you do exactly what we've been saying for a while. Go dark, go quiet, and just wow us when the time is right. And I think that's what they're cooking on. Now, this doesn't mean that heads are strictly down on the Phantom Liberty update. We did see already the employee splits, and we know that this is the main focus right now for CD Projekt Red, but we also know that there are many other things going on that are maybe pulling some attention away from the expansion. One such thing is it was just confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 is verified over on Steam Deck. I personally haven't had a chance to check this one out, but this sounds amazing. I actually, and I said this already in my Logitech video, but I've kind of cooled off on my Steam Deck a little bit ever since I got my Logitech G Cloud. Now my internet is trash at home. Like, it's been bad unless I'm wired. So I'm back on my Steam Deck and really enjoying that. And it's just amazing to have the best of both worlds here. But I am going to give this one a whirl. Right now, from what I read online, people seem to be really enjoying this and think it's just cool that it's even verified and exists and it runs well on Steam Deck. Maybe not quite the technical marvel that Witcher 3 on Switch is, but still awesome to see. So now we know, okay, they were working on that. Love to see it. What else is going on? Well, CD Projekt Red actually spelled this out to us in an interview a couple of weeks ago on what their internal roadmap sort of looks like on all the things they're handling. So let's read this quote from Marcin Momo. As for the future when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, the first thing we have planned that's on the horizon is the upcoming update for the PC version of the game. It's going to further expand on the visual fidelity via a completely new preset called Overdrive. This will be aimed at all the high-end PC gamers who want to squeeze the maximum out of their benchmark hardware. Next up after that is Phantom Liberty's expansion, a spy thriller story starring Idris Elba and a returning Keanu Reeves, set in an all-new area in Night City. And last but not least, there's a follow-up to Cyberpunk 2077 codenamed Orion that we announced in late 2022 as part of our long-term strategy update. But that's definitely a story for another time. So now we know the roadmap, and this has been out there, but again, this is where I go back to, I don't think people were looking at this and taking it for what it is, because again, I've identified some restlessness in the community, and I gotta say, I'm a little surprised by it. Look, I'm right there with all of you. I love Cyberpunk. I've loved it from day one. I've been a big supporter of the game. I've always thought it's fantastic, but CD Projekt Red is wise to take their time here because most of the general public is skeptical of them, and I'm surprised after they got by the skin of their teeth with the launch of Cyberpunk and somehow managed to salvage that game when all public trust was gone, why people are begging them for news and information and drops on Phantom Liberty is beyond me. I think we should show patience. I like that they're kind of cooking for a while here because I know a lot of folks are big fans of Blood and Wine from The Witcher 3. And you know, CD Projekt Red tends to hit it out of the park with these big expansions. So the longer they take, I think the better. It's clearly ambitious on a financial level when you have Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves in the same expansion. That's pretty intense on the budget just from a big actor perspective. At least I would assume so from the outside looking in. So I'm cool with them really taking their time, as I've already said. But now we have an idea of what they're doing. So next up should be this big PC update. I think once we see that green lit and out to the general public, then we can start to know when pretty much everyone has transitioned their focus over to the Phantom Liberty expansion. Don't get me wrong, again, we've seen the employee splits and we know most of the focus is currently on Cyberpunk 2077's newest expansion. However, this PC update was revealed with the 40 series by Nvidia, and it does look pretty dang good. And if you are trying to squeeze all of the detail out of Night City, there's no better look than this trailer right here on what is going to be possible, but it is pretty exciting to see that on the horizon too. The point being is I think people have mistaken some of the silence that CD Projekt has right now as they're doing nothing, but when you look at the Steam Deck verification, the Nvidia trailer, you look at what's going on with this interview from a couple of weeks ago, they're staying in communication. They're doing the right thing by stomping out rumors and speculation where they can, and they're cooking something right now, and I think we should just let them cook, right? My biggest fear is really the release date, because now I think we're sizing up what will probably be a face-off between Cyberpunk and Starfield. I just got this feeling in my gut, right? It's my content creator gut, by the way, not the gamer gut, where most gamers would go, all right, shower me with goods. I'm cool with that. As a content creator, though, I typically find myself in this position of, man, it would be really tough to cover both these games at the same time. I sure hope they don't do that, and they end up doing that. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess I just won't sleep that week. What's new? But I get a feeling this is heading towards that holiday window, and it's going to be in a very competitive time. And I do worry a bit about that. I've said before that with all these updates that have come to Cyberpunk 2077, the benefit for the player has been they're free, right? They're free to pick up. So people haven't had to invest anything past the initial price tag, which dropped as low as $10 after launch. And that was a big story for a while. So when you look at that versus an expansion that's probably going to ask for a decent amount of cash, right? Especially given its ambition, its size, its scope, its scale, I have no doubt this is going to be in that $20 to $30 threshold. And when I think about something like that, how receptive will fans be? How interested will they be in paying for the expansion? And especially during a competitive time where big AAA games are dropping, what will the vibe be? Will gamers be willing to play Cyberpunk when it's, I put this in quotes, old news? I wonder about that stuff. For me, I'll be there. And I know many of you watching this will be there as well. We're all excited for it. We've been waiting for it for a while. So yeah, we will get involved. But I wonder about the more general gamer that CD Projekt Red needs to connect to. And can the expansion cut through kind of the zeitgeist that's going on in that potential holiday period where it's busy, new big blockbuster games are dropping, and this new expansion for a very popular game, mind you, is coming out. Will people dive in? Will it be maybe like what we see with Elden Ring, where there's a lot of excitement for that expansion? Granted, Elden Ring launched, as we know it did, in a very brilliant state, so it's a little different compared to CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, but just some thoughts going on in my head as I see the conversation evolve over time. But this is what CD Projekt Red is up to right now, right? Again, they're working on that NVIDIA update for the 40 series, and they're working on the expansion still, but they want to finish that NVIDIA update. So keep an eye out on that, because when you see that drop, I think that means that it's a good sign of where things are heading for the rest of the expansion. My guess is it's going to be deep in the year, but there's also the possibility that CD Projekt Red completely surprises us and says, hey, surprise, it's coming this summer. And that would be best case scenario for all of us, I think, because I think that they know now Cyberpunk has really thrived off the surprise factor. Surprise, Edgerunners is here and it's amazing. Surprise, look how great these updates are. Look at all these little things we've added in. And the word of mouth has helped this game so much through Reddit and through sharing that content, like, for example, I do here on my channel. That is what's really benefited Cyberpunk 2077, I think. So they're going to continue to do that. And so it's also equally possible they surprise us. But for me, I think this game's going to find itself in that holiday period. And I'm curious to see what you think. That's all we got for today's video, so please do fire away. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.